Everybody, welcome back to Crypto Events Announcements. My name is Eugene Romanenko. I'm your Crypto MC, and please welcome my today's upcoming VIP guest. He is broadcasting from London, United Kingdom right now, and his name is Marc Taverner. He is Global Ambassador in Market Development of Bitfury, now Bitfury, and he also will be the distinguished speaker of Chainpoint United Conference, hosted by Vigen Arushanyan and his brilliant Armenian Blockchain Association NOR team in Yerevan, Armenia, in October 14 and 15. Marc, it's great pleasure and honor to have you on our interview.
Well, Eugene, thank you so much for having me, and what a wonderful introduction. You're very generous.
For those guys who may be not familiar with you, could you please give us a bit intro and tell about yourself and what are you and your team, now I know your team Bitfury, we love it, are working on right now in the blockchain industry?
Yeah, for sure, Eugene. So I'm responsible for building relationships with governments and with large industries around the world on behalf of Bitfury, so that we can identify opportunities to create significant solutions leveraging our blockchain technologies. That might be building solutions for governments to help them with things like identity or land registry, or it might be working with exchanges and financial institutions to give them access to some of our analytics platforms so that they can help discharge some of their duties around compliance and their need to investigate certain transactions.
Why did you decide to share your ideas and experience at the Chainpoint United Conference, and have you ever been in Crypto Armenia before?
I've not been in Crypto Armenia before. I'm very excited to be there. And the reason we're coming is because we think it's really important to reach out to particularly government ministers and C-suite executives who are interested in looking at how blockchain and blockchain solutions can empower them to go and make a difference, either within their industry or within their country. And our understanding is that there's going to be a significant contingent of government ministers and C-suite executives at this event, and therefore we are very keen to engage.
What specific topics and issues will you be covering during your speech in Yerevan?
So I'm going to be focusing specifically on how governments and countries can use blockchain to create solutions that will drive efficiency, that will create further transparency within their countries, and will help create or recreate trust between citizens and governments.
From your viewpoint as an insider, as you've been observing the industry in recent years, what are the main trends right now are in crypto and blockchain industry worldwide?
So let's talk about the blockchain industry rather than focusing just on one particular application, which could be crypto, for example, as you mentioned. So we see the wider blockchain industry and some of the trends now certainly becoming a greater level of education, which we think is very positive. A lot more people, a lot more organizations, a lot more countries are becoming more well educated about how distributed technologies, in particular blockchain, can be leveraged to create fantastic advantage for them. So that is most definitely a trend that we welcome. We also see that there are beginning to be more implementations and real world applications created and deployed and tested. So we're moving beyond just the singular application we've seen so far, which has been cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, which brought an awareness of blockchain and the possibilities of blockchain to the world. And we're seeing applications like land registry and like identity and like supply chain really sparking people's imaginations. So the second trend that we're seeing is more investigation, more applications, and more deployment of those applications, yielding more data that then fuels the next level of, I would say, technology innovation.
Well, personally, a question from me, I always ask speakers from different countries about their crypto countries. So we don't hear so much, possibly, about crypto England or crypto Great Britain. We hear about so much about Hong Kong, Singapore, Switzerland, and so on. How the things are going on in blockchain space in crypto Great Britain? What is crypto Great Britain? Could you explain us a bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I think at this point, let me just remind our audience that Bitfury operates in 17 countries around the world. The fact that I happen to live in the UK and, as you might guess, have a British accent doesn't necessarily mean that Bitfury is solely focused on the UK. But given that I'm broadcasting from there today, let's give you a little bit of insight. So we do have here in the UK, which is still part of Europe at the moment, that we should celebrate. We do have a strong focus on crypto. There is a very strong community who are focused and very knowledgeable on cryptocurrency, on cryptography in general. Several leading universities like University College London, as well as very esteemed organizations like the Central Bank of the UK, are very well versed in the technologies and the economic opportunities represented by cryptocurrency. But it is true that at the moment we don't have a strong piece of, or a clear piece of legislation about how the UK treats cryptocurrency. There is, however, some pretty well developed thinking around how blockchain technologies can be applied across various segments and sectors. And there are regular sessions within the UK Parliament where invited experts are brought to talk to ranges of ministers and parliamentarians to help educate them around anything from how blockchain technologies can track the provenance of goods and certainly valuable items like diamonds, all the way through to how blockchain could support the creation of self-sovereign identity, which could help solve one of the biggest challenges that all countries have, which is how to map their populations whilst protecting the privacy and identity of those populations. So the UK is very focused on, I would say, wider blockchain applications and has a very knowledgeable, a very skilled ecosystem of participants. But it is true that we don't think of the UK as being a home to the largest number of crypto exchanges, for example. And certainly there are not garages and garages full of Lamborghinis either.
Thanks for your brilliant explanation. Now we know more about crypto Great Britain. And finally, Marc, whom do you personally recommend to visit Chainpoint 19 conference in Yerevan? What type of person would mostly benefit from attending this conference?
I think anybody who is in the region and wants to take the opportunity to come and talk to some industry experts who have got real example of working with this technology over multiple years and who can give, I would say, some generous and some honest and some valuable insight to what the opportunities are that this technology could represent for them, their industry, their country, and their organizations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard this advice from Marc Taverner by your ears and show it by your eyes. So if you find it useful for your business, please attend the Chainpoint 19 conference in Yerevan, Armenia in October 14 and 15. Find link below and use your promo code Romanenko at CP19 for a 20% discount, also written below. And by the way, we can also meet with you at the Human Society Conference in October 15, Minsk, Belarus, in City Conference in Kyiv, Ukraine, October 10th and 11th, Blockchain Live Europe Conference in October 16 and 17 in Moscow, Russia. It's Georgia Gaming Affiliate Conference in Tbilisi, Georgia, October 18, and of course in Satoshi Invest Summit for celebrating 11th white paper birthday anniversary at Tbilisi, Georgia, and October 30th and 31st. Please visit cryptimc.com and find your discount promo codes, and please subscribe on the Facebook page and YouTube channel for. Stay tuned for next speaker's interview. Marc Taverner from Bitfury, United Kingdom, and personally greetings and other guys from Bitfury team, Alex Petrov from Riga, Albert Shopnik from Moscow. We often meet with them in the different conferences on the UCIS area. Eugene Romanenko, Marc Taverner with you. Thank you for watching. See you in October 14 and 15 in Yerevan at Chainpoint 19 conference. Stay tuned, stay crypto, and thank you, Marc.
Thank you, Eugene, and see you all in Armenia.